Hello guys, I hope all of you are fine. So in this today's video, I have brought to you one of my latest development, a very simple tool which will help you to discover the correct regular expressions pattern to filter on a particular text out of a larger chunk of text. Right. So I'm sure all of you are aware of regular expressions, and many of you are probably also using it. But for those who are not so experienced and are practiced with the regular expressions, it might sometimes be very tricky and confusing to write the correct regular expressions pattern to filter on the specific text that you are looking out of the larger document or text. So this tool is going to be of use at that place. So this tool will help you to discover the correct regular expressions pattern that will help you to filter out on the specific information that you are looking for. And while doing so, it does it in such a way that you also learn and get to know the regular expressions and how that works more closely, so that once you have started using this tool for a few times, then later on you yourself become a expert with the regular expressions, and you won't need any other help from anyone to write your own regular expressions. So with this, let's quickly jump into the demo of the tool. So here I have so this tool, I have the scripts of this tool are written in Python, and now I have converted it into a binary to a exe. So I'm going to launch it from the exe, and I will also be sharing the link of this exe in the description of this video. You can anyone who wants to use it can download it from there and use it. Okay, so let me quickly launch this tool. So here it is. So the very first thing that you must be doing is paste your text here. So I already have this text, as you can see here in this notepad file. This text I have got up after applying OCR on a sample PDF that I sourced from the internet, right? So when I applied OCR on it and got the text into a text file, this is how I got it. So I'm going to copy this and paste it here. So whatever the text on which you want to apply your regular expressions pattern, you will have to put that here in this text box on the top. Right now, from here you can start creating your pattern, which will filter out on the specific information that you are looking out from this larger text. So for this demo, let's try to extract this particular information, policy number, and specifically this policy number only, excluding this header, right? So how would you write this pattern? So people who are good with regular expressions will probably be able to write it very easily. But for people who are new to regular expressions and are still learning, this tool is going to be of help. So this tool will, there are a few questions that you will need to answer, and the pattern will get built. So the first thing that you see is add a literal text. What is a literal text? So literal text is anything that will be literally written in your text that you are looking for, right? So here, if I'm looking for this policy number information out of this entire text, I know it will always start with this literal value of policy number, and then there will be this variable portion of the actual policy number, right? So this is my literal text. So what I can do is I will simply double click on this add literal text, and it is going to ask me what is going to be your literal text, right? So I can simply say policy number, or I could also have copy pasted it here. Now this is the literal text part. I'll just simply say okay. So this got added into my regular expressions pattern. Then it is asking me add a particular character type. So character type, so in regular expressions, characters are divided into different types, like spaces are one particular type, alphabets are one particular type, numbers are one particular type, punctuation marks and things like that are separate types. So there can be two scenarios with it. Either you have the next following information that you are trying to get out of this larger text after this policy number could be of one specific character type, or it could be of a mixed character type of a specific length, right? So what I mean to say is, in this scenario, I know after this policy number, I will have one space, right? So I can, and one space is one character type, space is one character type. So I can go ahead and add a character type here, right? So I double clicked on add a character type. This dialog box appeared here. From here, I'll select the character types. I'm saying I want a white space, a blank white space, and then I'm saying it is going to be, then I'll have to specify the length of the character type. So how many times, or what is the total length of that character type string, right? I know there is going to be just one space, so I can select either one or more, but I can also go with a fixed length. Since I know it's always going to be one space, I will go with fixed length, and I'll specify one here, and I'll say okay. So you see this pattern got added into my pattern that is in building. So policy number, then one space. Then I will say, then the next string of characters will be all numbers, and I know there will be 6 digits in my policy number. So I can again add a character type, click on the add a character type and select the digits, and then I can say it is going to be a fixed length of 6 units. Okay, and I'll say okay. So now you see this is the correct pattern, and while you were building the pattern, the result was also coming out of it, out of this larger check. So now you see this is the exact information that you are looking for. So that tells you that this is the correct pattern that you are looking for, that you need to write if you want to filter out on this portion of the text out of this entire text. Now this was a very simple example, right? So many of you think that I could have written this pattern very well, but I picked this simple example only to explain you. Now you can write more complex patterns that I'm going to show you next, right? But before I go there, so this pattern, just I'll elaborate more on this, is this pattern is going to give you this entire thing, right? But actually I'm interested in this policy number only. So what I can do further on it is I'll click on advanced here, this advanced button with gears on it. So I'll click on it. When I do that, I'll be able to see the patterns, the block of patterns separately, right? So the first block of pattern was the literal, then the second block of pattern was this one space, and then the third block of pattern was 6 digits, right? Now, since I only want to get the 6 digits out of this entire text, I can select this and group it, right? So I'll simply click on the group sign here, and you see this got grouped. Now, if I refresh, this is the new policy number, right? Now, if I go, go here and see, if I go here and see, so I will have 2 groups. So group 0 and group 1. Group 0 is the entire output of this entire pattern, and group 1 is the output of this particular group. Okay, so now you see here the output is this specific policy number that I was looking for. Now if I say okay, that gets applied here, the grouping gets applied here, and I can get the output. I can see the output here. So now the group 0 is the entire thing, and if I go for group 1, this is only the policy number that I'm specifically looking for. So now you know that this is the correct pattern that you need to write if you want to filter on the specific policy number out of this entire chunk of text. Now this was first example. Let's look at a little more complex example for this date. Okay, so now here let's remove all this. With the backspace I can remove all the patterns. Now let me again try to filter out on this particular information out of this larger chunk. So in this information, I know there is a literal value of date. So my information will always begin with this date, but not with this January, because January is part of the actual date and can be any other month also. It can be February, March, April, anything, right? But my date is always going to begin with this date header. So this is the literal value. So let me add a literal value to my pattern. So currently my pattern is blank, as you see. I'll simply double click on the add literal and I'll give date here and I'll say okay, right? Now I know after date there is going to be one space, right? I could have given one space directly in the literal also. So if I remove it, and I could have given date and one space here, not necessarily I need to go and select the character type and select the backslash s for that. So if I give a space here, it will become literally, so it will look for date and a space literally. Now let's look for this date. So now I know this date has a mix of alphabets, numbers, and some punctuations and spaces also. So what I'll do is, instead of saying add a character type, I'm going to say add a set of mixed character types. Why mixed? Because I know it's a mixed character type of alphabets, digits, punctuations, also this comma sign that you see, and space also, right? So I'm going to use add a set of mixed character type and I'll double click on it. Now here I need to create that set. So currently my set is blank. If you see the right hand side list box, that is blank. So I know in my set there has to be numbers. So I'm going to select this digits. I know my set should will contain some spaces, as I can see in the background. So here there are spaces also in my date. So I'll select space. I know there is going to be alphabet. So alphabets for the punctuation signs or symbols that you see, you can use this backslash capital W. I know my set will contain alphabets also. So besides digits, they will contain alphabets also. So I can select alphabets, right? And then I'll say I have used, okay, I have used everything, right? So now this is the set that I'm looking for, and how much the length of it is going to be, I really cannot decide, because the length of January may differ, will differ from the length of March. So I really do not know how much the length is going to be. So I definitely cannot go with a fixed length. So what I'll say is it is going to be one or more of length. So 1 unit to more than 1 unit length, right? So I will select this and I'll say okay. So now you see this got added, right? And now let me actually do this. Then let me say, okay, so I think something is, if I say date, okay, maybe I'll have to, once you have created a pattern, you will have to restart. So probably this is a bug, this should not be there, but then I can fix it later. So let me paste this entire text here. And let me work on add the literal as date and space. Okay, so it has started to come. Now let me again create this set for you. So it will have digits, it will have alphabets, it will also have capital alphabets. Okay, so because the January, the letter J in January is capital, so I should use this also, and then I should use space, and I should use non symbols for identifying the punctuation marks also, and then the length will be 1 or more. Okay, so now you see it is fetching everything. So right from after the date, if I go on top and show you, right after the date, it is fetching everything. Now why it is fetching everything? Because I have said it can be of length of 1 or more than 1. So all of this is fitting into this pattern. Now I will have to tell it that no, I do not want to go till the end of the text. I'll have to limit it only till the first matching set. So this first matching set, wherever this finishes, right? So what I'm going to say is I'll make it non-greedy. So I can go for a add character type. Now at this point it is greedy, so it is looking for this matching pattern, this particular matching pattern after the date till the end of the text, and giving me everything, right? Because all of these contain capital letters, small letters, digits, spaces, and things, right? So instead of saying go and search it for till the end of the text, I'm going to say only look for it till the first matching portion. So I'm going to make it non-greedy, and to make it non-greedy, I'll select this. This is the question mark symbol is making it non-greedy. Now let me say okay. Okay. So as soon as I do that, my answer reduced to on date and then J only till this point. Now you see. So now this is also a problem, because I said it can be one or more length. So as soon as it found one, it stopped there because I have made it non-greedy. But now I'll have to tell it that at least go till the place where a new line starts. So I know after the date finishes, there is a new line, right? So I'll say at least go till the point where a new line starts. So again, I'm going to use add a character type and say new line, and at least one new line, fixed length one. So now you see it is giving me the correct date here, right? So this is how you can build your pattern. So now again, I am more interested in this date part, excluding the date header, right? So same thing, I'm going to click on the advanced. Here I have the blocks of the pattern listed here. So what I'm going to do is, this is the portion on which I'm interested. So I'm simply going to group it. Now, as soon as I group it and I do a refresh here, you will see this is block 0. So block 0 has everything. If this text is, I can scroll down in this text box and I can see everything, but I don't want everything. So I grouped it, and now I'll select the group number 1. So when I select the group number 1, I realized I still have everything. Why I still have everything? Because this portion is grouped, right? And this question mark, which is making this portion non-greedy, is out of this group, right? So I'll have to include this question mark within this group. So what I'll do is I'll simply select it and I'll move it up, right? Or at the time of applying the group, I could have selected this together and then applied group instead of only selected this and applying it, right? And since I did only selected this and applied the group, it only grouped this information and the question mark was left out of the group. So what I did is I selected it and I moved it upwards to include within the group. This is what I simply did. Now, if I refresh, you see the group 0 still has everything. Oh, okay. So since I included it, group 0 has not everything, but this date portion, the entire date portion, and the group 1 will have this date only, right? Now, if I say okay, this pattern will come back here and I can see that thing here. So now group 0 is this entire thing. And if I select group 1, it is only the date. So this is the correct pattern to write if you are trying to only filter out on this particular date out of your entire text. Similarly, you can do this for any other information that you are trying to extract out of this entire text. So policy owner name, residence address, and things like that, right? I will leave up to you guys to download these tools and this tool and try it at your end. And then if you come across any challenge, you can definitely connect with me over my email ID and I'll help you. Now, besides, so this tool is currently at a very rudimentary level with very basic functions of regular expressions. I know to write more complex and advanced regular expressions, there has to be more, questions added into this list and more character types added and length variants added to this list. But I have I have just made this to show the POC how this kind of solution can be made. If anyone who has downloaded this and is in need of more advanced functionalities to be added into this tool, do write me over my email and I will definitely work on to add, because in that case, if this tool is being used by even a single person, it is helping even a single person, that makes it worth my time to add more functionalities to it. Else I'm just going to leave it like this only as a proof of concept to make such a tool, right? So thank you so much guys for watching this. I will be uploading this tool into this into my drive, and will be sharing the link in the description of the video. I'll be very glad if you download this and use it, and if this tool can be of any help to you. Thank you so much, guys, for watching me. Bye. Have a good day.